The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning to you here at 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us. It's a finally Friday. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher. 17 News is your local election headquarters. We first reported on Sunrise yesterday that Democratic State Senator Melissa Hurtado has officially registered to run for Congress. And now she says she's just exploring a possible run. Hurtado registered a statement of candidacy with the Federal Election Commission on Wednesday. It's California's 22nd congressional district, a seat currently held by Republican David Valadao. The 2nd district runs east of downtown Bakersfield before spanning north all the way to Tulare, Hanford, and Kennelman City. According to Ballotpedia, Democratic voters make up 43% of this district, while Republican voters only account for 26%. More than 20% of voters don't have a party preference. Hurtado currently represents the 16th district in the California Senate, which includes parts of Kern, Kings, Fresno, and Tulare counties. She won her race in 2022 by just 22 votes. Bakersfield Assembly member Rudy Salas is also running for the seat after losing to Valadao last year. The primary election takes place in March.
Turning to your 17 Crime Watch now, in a standoff with police prompted an evacuation at a South Bakersfield hotel. It all happened early yesterday morning. Police say they found a man shot in a field near the auto mall. That person was rushed to the hospital. His condition is unclear at this time. An investigation led officers to the Howard Johnson Hotel. Officers say 2 people came out of a room when they arrived, but a 3rd suspect was uncooperative and refused to surrender. That is what prompted the evacuation for the rest of the hotel. Officers negotiated with the suspect for approximately an hour and a half until he finally came out and was taken into custody.
A man's in Kern County Jail this morning after being accused of trafficking an underage girl across the state. Bakersfield police say they started investigating last month with help from Fresno police, and they were able to track down 25-year-old Keenan Riley and arrest him. The girl has been reunited with her family. Riley's due in court later today.
From our 17 follow-up file, and the body of a kayaker who drowned about 6 weeks ago in the Kern River has finally been recovered. It all started with a rescue mission near Ant Canyon when 5 professional kayakers were swept away by the raging water. 4 of them made it back to shore, but the 5th kayaker's boat turned over and stuck to a tree branch with the kayaker still inside. Several attempts were made to recover his body, but the water flow was just too dangerous. However, levels have significantly dropped this week, and crews were finally able to get the kayaker's body out of the river.
Golden Empire Transit doubled down on its refusal to discuss the fire and explosions that destroyed a $1.1 million taxpayer-funded bus last week. As 17's Justin White reports, GET issued a news release affirming its stance on non-disclosure.
Fire and explosions early on the morning of July 18th at the GET bus yard on Golden State Avenue near F Street. No injuries, but a bus was destroyed, the fueling station damaged, and 9 other hydrogen buses were out of commission. Each bus over $1 million. GET CEO Karen King said that day the Bakersfield Fire Department investigating. However, a GET news release said GET is working with, quote, the stakeholder and industry leaders to bring together the best investigative team available. No word on who will be investigating. And video of the fire? The district declined to share it with City Fire, who wanted the video for training purposes, saying the video will be released later.
And they completely understood that we will provide it once the investigation is complete because we want them to learn from it as well. But this is going to be a very extensive investigation, so it's expected to last several months. It's not anything that's going to happen right away.
The buses are part of California's mandate that all public transport be fueled by renewable energy by 2040. According to Sanders, they're paid for by state and federal funding. But the cost to replace them and where that money will come from?
That's going to be determined on the investigation.
For now, the cause, the cost to repair, and what's responsible remains a mystery.
17's Justin White reporting. We reached out to BFD for comment, but we didn't hear back.
Making headlines around the nation this morning, and former President Donald Trump is now facing new charges stemming from his classified documents case. Federal prosecutors say Trump and his aides asked a staffer to delete camera footage in Mar-a-Lago in an effort to obstruct the classified documents investigations. The papers also show a third person, Mar-a-Lago's head of maintenance, Carlos de Oliveira, was indicted as part of the investigation into the former president's alleged improper retention of classified documents.
Another person has died while in the custody of the Kern County Sheriff's Office. An unidentified 54-year-old man died earlier this month at a local hospital, according to KCSO. The department says the man was booked and awaiting trial when he died. Another death occurred in May when a 25-year-old man died at a Kern County Justice facility. The two deaths are under investigation.
A man accused of possessing 150,000 fentanyl pills is now facing federal charges. Investigators say they were found in his car earlier this month. Initially filed in Kern County Superior Court, the case of Pantaleon Lopez Zavala has been moved to the U.S. District Court in Fresno. The DA's office says local charges were dismissed to allow the federal case to proceed. Emergency crews are on scene in Oildale last night for a major crash. You can see just how violent the collision was. This crash happened on the corner of James and McCray Roads around 9 o'clock last night, with the impact sending one car into the front yard of a home. Firefighters had to use the jaws of life to free a woman from the blue car. She and a child in that car were taken to the hospital. The condition of the other driver is not known at this time. The investigation continues.
5:34 is your time now. Actress and activist Jane Fonda was in Kern County visiting the UFW compound in Keene. Fonda participated in a workshop yesterday with the Dolores Huerta Foundation and teens who are part of Camp Life. It's a performing arts camp for kids ages 13 to 17 that was founded by Fonda and her former husband, Tom Hayden.
Dolores' daughter Camilla and other people that went to the camp have recreated that camp here. This is the first time that I've been here and met all the campers and been able to find out what's happening, and I'm just so thrilled and excited. I'm going to keep coming back over the years. This is great.
Fonda says visiting the camp was an emotional experience for her. Making news around the state as the strike impacting Hollywood and California's entertainment industry lingers on. Actors are taking their message to Sacramento with a rally at the state capitol. Our Capitol correspondent Eitan Wallace has more.
Well, Governor Newsom's office tells me he has reached out to both sides of the strike and would like to negotiate a deal, but they also say so far he's received little interest from either side. As for the actors who came to the Capitol, well, they made their message clear.
What do we want? Fair contract. When do we want it?
That, in a nutshell, is the message from actors who held this demonstration on the steps of the state Capitol. About 100 people showing up in support of SAG-AFTRA, the union representing more than 150,000 TV and movie actors. Over the last several weeks, they have stepped off the job to demand major studios and streaming companies provide higher wages across the board. More than 11,000 screenwriters represented by the Writers Guild of America have also taken to the picket lines since May, marking the first time in more than 60 years writers and actors are on strike at the same time. Actors here say they hope to hammer the following point across to the major studios.
People think that actors are all rich people and stars, and the majority of us are not. We go from job to job, and we need to be compensated fairly for that.
Included in their demands, more protections amid the rise of artificial intelligence. They also want to see increased residuals, in essence royalty payments they receive when shows they appear in rerun. They say in this era of streaming, the residual payments are much less than what they used to be.
Right there, 1 penny.
Actor Anthony Abate brought with him a residual check he recently received. The total payment, 1 cent.
This 1 penny doesn't even pay for the paper that it's written on. We're not asking for an arm and a leg here. We're asking for a living wage. We're asking for health insurance. We're asking for the ability to send our kids to college.
In a statement, the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, or AMPTP, which represents major studios and streaming services, said in part, quote, "The deal that AMPTP has offered SAG-AFTRA represents more than $1 billion in wage increases, pension and health contributions, and residual increases, and includes first of their kind protections over its 3-year term, including expressly with respect to AI or artificial intelligence." And as for the governor, well, his office says he's very concerned about a prolonged strike and the impact that could have on California's economy. We're talking billions of dollars, which is why he says he wants to see a resolution soon. Reporting from the state capitol, Eitan Wallace, 17 News.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.